Welcome back. We're jumping into our second segment for today, and you are in for a treat.
Yes.
We're talking about a special type of massage workshop that's taking place, and you don't need your hands, right?
Nope.
All right, it's called Ayurvedic walking massage,
Right.
and we're joined by the facilitator of that workshop, Nicholas Kalitz. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Nick. It's so nice to have you in. You know, when I first saw the title, I was, what? How do you do a walking massage? And then why Ayurvedic? What's that?
Well, Ayurvedic is the sister science to yoga, right? And it's basically food, and it's medicinal food, right? But you don't want to think of medicinal food because that doesn't even sound good, right? But it's just eating right, and that will basically all you need. You shouldn't need any pharmaceuticals, you shouldn't need any drugs in your life if you eat the correct food. So it's a health system through your diet. It's really that simple. It's the oldest health system in the world. It's originated in India.
Now talk to us about how you ventured into learning, understanding, and now eventually teaching this type of life.
Well, at a certain...
It's a long journey.
Right, everything's a long journey.
The TV version.
Right, so I just came to a point in my life where I just didn't want to be in what I call the rat race. We've all heard of it, right?
Yeah.
We're on that wheel and we're just spinning and spinning and spinning and going nowhere and not really feeling very fulfilled, right? So maybe 10 or so years ago, I decided that's it. I've had enough. And I always enjoyed yoga, so I started doing more and more yoga. About 5 years into that, I went to India, stayed at an ashram for a while, became a certified teacher for yoga. And that is where I learned the Ayurvedic walking massage.
So where is it practiced mostly? In the U.S.?
Yoga?
Is this something in the Ayurvedic walking massage?
Mostly in India, because it came from a traditional ashram. So this is relatively new as far as the West is concerned, and certainly in Belize. Right.
Why did it interest you, though, that you wanted to learn it?
Yoga?
No, the
Oh,
walking massage.
It just happened to be in the teacher training that I was in.
And you said, let me just learn a new skill.
Right. Well, when I first heard about it, I said, what are we going to be walking and massaging people? That's what I thought. Like we'd be walking on the beach and just massaging people, but I had no idea.
Okay.
So until I got there,
So what dragged you to Belize?
Well, I was invited to come down and teach, and I ended up in Corozal, and I ended up with a wonderful group of people in Farida and her wonderful mother, Miss Yvonne, right? They showed me that they were teaching yoga at 4 o'clock every day for free. That's what karma is, giving service with nothing expected in return, right? So I met them, beautiful people, just really wonderful people. I fell in love with Corozal right away. And I was there for maybe 9 weeks teaching Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock as the guest teacher for Farid, because she's the primary teacher there.
Wow.
And did you see a growing number of persons coming out for the yoga class?
Yes, because the first day when I showed up there was maybe 6, and it grew to almost 18.
Wow.
And then people would leave and come and various health things. So it changed a little bit.
Now you're here with Rhythm of Change
Yes.
through Om Shanti,
Right.
and obviously I'm sure you've spoken with the other instructors there, and you know that yoga is really the interest is really growing in Belize,
Right.
and it's really only been over the past couple of years. People have been practicing for some time,
Right.
but the peak of the interest is now.
Right.
What do you say to people who are still on the fence? People like my friend John, who tried it once. Like, it feels good, but and especially for men, to venture into developing a practice.
Well, here's what I can say for men first. Let me just cover
Yeah.
that. LeBron James has been doing yoga for 8 years. He attributes his stamina to yoga. Now, you can go on Google and just find that right away. You don't even
Look at
have
their
to
faces.
I know.
Look at all their faces now. They're like, okay.
Right. And not only LeBron James, but just about every other sports figure right now. They're doing yoga. They've been doing it for years, and they swear by it. So that's for the men. As far as for people wanting to and being on the fence, just do it.
Yeah.
Nike has the best slogan in the world. Just do it, try it, see how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
When I first did yoga the first time, I fell in love with it. It was just like that, right? So, and if the first instructor doesn't really get you, try another one. Just try a few different types. And don't let your ego be part of it, because it's going to be harder than you think. Right?
One of the things I love about this show is that you learn new things every day as you go by. So Offset, actually off camera, you did mention in terms of seating, while some people would sit like this or crossing your legs.
Right,
You said, oh, that's bad for your hips.
It's
Why
bad
is
for your
this?
hips.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it would shock everybody because this is actually how they know how to sit. So when they
Yes.
get somewhere, the first thing they do is cross their legs.
Right.
Why is this not good?
Well, it takes your hips out of alignment, right? It's that simple, right? Your hips, you want to stay in balance, and yoga will balance you out. It will balance not only out your body, but your body and your mind, right? So our mind gets disconnected. Now, a lot of us go to the gym and we work out and we think we're going to work out our stress, but sometimes we're stressing our body out by wanting to lift so much weight, right? And getting our ego involved. So our egos can get us into trouble. Yoga helps us tamp down that ego just a little bit, right? We're not going to ever get rid of our egos. I've been trying forever, and it's just not going to happen, right? So, but what you want to do, though, is just try to balance it all out so that you can have a much more peaceful, relaxing life,
Yes.
right?
Now, what's your, for some people, they want to try yoga because they see it as a form of exercise. And for people who've never tried it, they look at it and say, that could never be exercise.
Right.
What do you say to that?
Well, if people want to make it an exercise, that's fine. Yoga is whatever you want to do with it, right? So it's vast, it's huge. I couldn't even begin to explain it if we had weeks and weeks right here, and we obviously don't have that. So it's whatever you want to take from it. It'll offer all kinds of things for you. Just take what you like from it and go with it. And the more you do it, the more you'll want to grow with it, right?
And what's your primary benefit?
I'm happier than I've ever been in my life.
Really?
Is it the meditation?
Well, a lot of people think you just have to sit there and meditate, right? And when I first heard that, I'm like, that is boring. I don't want to do that, right? Now I can do it, but it took me a long time to get into that. But really what I prefer is a moving meditation. You can meditate for 2 minutes and you can get a benefit from that, right? You can meditate while you're washing the dishes if you want to. But you can certainly meditate while you flow through a yoga practice, right? Or when you hold a posture, right? You just sit there and simply focus on your breath. Follow the breath as it moves through your body, and you're meditating. It's really that simple. It's taking your mind away from all the other stuff, right? Give your mind a break. Because how often do you give your mind a break? Not too often, I'll bet, especially in your high-stress business, right?
Yeah.
Right, right. So try it.
Yeah. Let's not go further into that conversation.
But that's what I'm here for. I'm here
Yes.
to, help stimulate you to go into that, right?
And I think, and one of the things that stand out to me is you mentioned that you're very happy.
Very.
So I think because a lot of people are not, especially in light of what happens in this country. We're so small. We're diverse when it comes to culture, so we feel like each other. We're brothers and sisters.
Everybody's
But
connected.
a lot of things are happening, and folks are
Right.
not happy. So this
Right.
would be one of the best ways to deal with it.
It's very beneficial. Very beneficial. And again, until you try, you don't know. The only real teacher is experience, right? You can read all the books you want, and you can get an idea, but until you do something, you don't really know, right?
That's true.
Right.
As an instructor, it has to be interesting because I think with all the research now that is widely publicized about the benefits of yoga and meditation, it has become very much mainstream, and now people are venturing into all different types of modifications. Are you still very traditional in your training and practice?
No, because you can't, I try to stay traditional, right? Because that's what my training is. But you also have to think about the people, right? You can't just jam them into something and just throw all the tradition at them at once, because they're just going to reject that, right? Because it's a lot to take in. I'm still, again, I know this much, there's this much, all right? So, and I've been doing it for a long time. So just don't worry about all of it. You just take maybe one little thing each time you go to a class. If you remember one thing in each class, whatever it is, and retain it, you're doing well. Don't try to take it all in, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's no rush.
But,
What's the rush?
But and a lot of people don't realize that there's some of the daily things that they do that is actually attributed to yoga. So can you give us like an example of what somebody do every day that you know for a fact that, hey, you're actually doing yoga?
Well, how we sit, how we walk, right? It's very important. How we stand, right? So if you stand incorrectly, you can hurt your back. How you sit, which we already discussed.
Like my posture right now.
No, your posture is good,
Yeah.
right? It's just crossing the legs. But that, look, we all have things to work through.
I have my flaws.
We all have lots and lots of flaws. But that's what brings us even closer together. We're all connected, and one of the ways is through our many flaws, right? We shouldn't beat ourselves up about our flaws, though. Recognize them, think about them, see what we can do to change them. But don't judge yourself. It's not worth it.
So let's take it back to the walking massage.
Okay.
You're hosting a workshop here in the city.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, and who are you hoping to come out?
Anybody.
Anybody can do this.
Anybody can do this.
Okay, so let's talk about the fundamentals then.
Okay. It's quite simple, right? Prana is your life force and energy. Some of you might have heard of chi, right? That's a more common word. So it's the life force energy that moves through our body that's also connected to the universe. And I don't want to get too weird on everybody. So let's just stick with our life force and our energy that moves our energy that moves through our body. So the walking massage stimulates this energy. So you can think of it almost as like a little warm up before yoga, or you can think of it as how you relax at the end of a day. You can do it in as little as 15 minutes. You can take an hour. It really depends on how much time you want to place on each part of the body.
Yeah.
But in India, what we would do is we would give each other 15, 20-minute massages, and it was a wonderful way to start the day, and then do our practice, right?
And walking on somebody's body, is that not dangerous?
It depends, right?
Okay.
You really want to talk to the participant and
Yeah.
make sure that they're not experiencing any pain, right? But it's just pressure. You're not really walking on them. Now, you can walk on them, but again, only if they can take it, right? There was a guy in India he was almost 7 feet tall. He was big, and he would walk on little Japanese girls, and they had no problem. So it really just depends on what you can take.
I was about to ask that question about weight limit as to, whether or not you're too heavy to be able to walk on someone else for this type of massage.
You just have to be careful. You'll see when I demonstrate that it's not necessarily a whole lot of walking, and usually when it gets that's not exactly what we do.
No, no, that's like a Thai massage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But there's different types of walking massage.
Yeah.
And some people might have gone abroad and had different types of massages.
Yeah.
This is one that I've never seen or even heard of, and I think most people would agree.
All right. Well, since we won't be able to find any photo or video that will match it, we'll get into our demonstration.
Demonstration.
All right. And you're going to talk about it as we do it. So
Sure.
John is going to be the willing participant to
Right.
get on the
Here we go.
floor.
Right. So one of the beauties of this massage is that you don't have to wear any type of special clothes. There's no oils, or anything like that. Now, if you want to play music and have candles, fine, go ahead. But that's not what it's about.
Are we talking massage like working out the muscles, or is it just kind of pressure points?
It's pressure points. The muscles get a little work, but again, it's stimulating that life force, that prana, right?
Okay.
You have to experience it to really know.
Yeah. When the cameras are off, I can get on the floor.
But I've never given one where somebody said, boy, I wish I didn't have that.
And talking about the workshop tomorrow, so
Sure.
so when the people come out, what is it going to cost? What time does it start? Kind of the basics.
It starts at 10, yes, and it's $50.
Yeah.
And it's really important to know that the rhythm of change is going to benefit from this,
Yeah.
right? So some of the proceeds are going right into that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure you're quite
Yeah.
familiar with rhythm
Yeah.
of change and helping the youth,
Yes.
at-risk youth.
Yes.
No. See,
No,
that's,
you
that's
don't have
the beauty.
to take off your clothes.
Right, no.
It's just right on the mat.
Right. So the feet need to be exposed though, but other than that, so just lay your head to one side, which doesn't matter. There you go. All right, now just see if you can come up just a little bit so I can get to your feet. There you go, yeah. Just so I can put a little pressure on the feet. All right, and just try to relax. Just let it go, right? So that's what we want to do in yoga. We just want to let it go. So we're looking here, right? This guy?
All right. Yeah.
Right,
This.
okay. All right. So either foot starts. Now, normally I would have something to brace myself on.
Oh, that's why we have Michelle.
Right. Michelle's my brace today. So just so I don't fall over, right? So to begin with, I'm just going to start putting my arch into his arch, right?
Okay.
And just working it, right? Working it a little bit. Nothing too hard, right? And John, if anything hurts, you want to let me know, okay? All right. So see, so I don't put my full weight on it, right? Now, I'm going to stretch out each toe a little bit. So I'm just going to push my toes into his, stretch them down, right? One at a time, right? Then again, work that arch a little bit. Walk up the foot. See, so this is the walking part,
Okay.
right? Now, again, how long you want to go is completely up to you. I could spend 10 minutes on the foot if I wanted to,
Okay.
right? So, all right. You got to be careful around the joints, right? Yeah, some people are ticklish, which is perfectly fine, right? So we got the heel joint here, so we don't want to step on that, right? We just want to move it back and forth a little bit. And now it's more sensitive towards the joint, so you want to start slowly. And again, this is where I want you to tell me if you feel anything that hurts, right? So this is where I start to gauge how much pressure he can handle, right? Are you okay? All right. Remember, don't let your ego tell me. Right? I can take it. No. We don't want to push through pain, right? In yoga, we never push through pain or any extreme discomfort, and we don't do that in a massage either, right? Some people do like that painful massage, but that's not what we want to do. So I'm just stimulating the pressure points here, right? And John's obviously in shape. I can feel his muscles pushing back. Right? So I'm getting up to the joint. Right? Right. Now up here we can take a little bit more weight, right? So I got almost my whole weight on him now.
Yeah.
And because of all the wonderful food I've been eating at Om Shanti, I've lost a little bit of weight, so John's lucking out in that. Right? Right? So this is where we have some very major muscle groups, right?
Yeah.
The glutes. So.
That we don't stretch enough.
No. But when I get a massage, this is my favorite area, right? How are we doing, John? Good? Perfect. All right. So we got the sacrum here, right? It's the bone at the bottom of the spine.
Yeah.
Right?
The
so
tailbone.
Right. Well, it's actually just above the tailbone.
Okay.
It's a triangular shaped bone.
Okay.
Right? Right? So I'm just moving around a little bit. And then, so I'm going a little faster because I know we're pressed for time.
Of course. This is the TV version.
Right. So, but again, you can get it done. Now I'm going to take my heel in there. Right? So as you get more adept at this massage, so and simply with practice, right? Mm-hmm. Just like anything, practice.
I mean, these are pretty much the same muscles you get worked out in an actual massage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
just doing it with your feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, the beauty of this is anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Could you open your legs just a little bit? Thank you. Anybody can do it, and it's not very hard to do, right? You're not working your hands, which can get very tiring, right? So, a little hip bone over here. Yeah, get that hip bone. All right. So, again, I'm going a little quicker than I would normally do.
So you would do then the opposite side.
Opposite side, right?
And then up to the back as well.
Right. Now, but here's where, when, there's this little duck walk. Now, let's pretend I did the other side, right? I'm sorry about this, John, but we're just not doing, no, I'm going to need you even more now. You can't get away. All right. So we do this little duck walk, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the walk with both feet. So I'm getting all the way up here, right? And getting both the toes on either side of the sacrum, right? Now, since I've been doing yoga for a while, my toes might be a little bit more flexible than others. But another benefit of yoga, you're able to flex your toes.
Well, that means you can punta as well, because punta is moving your toes.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yoga is a support system, right? Yeah. So it will support whatever kind of dancing you like to do.
Okay.
All right?
Michelle, you have to get him to do some punta now.
He asked me about the gorilla yesterday.
I did. Now, so the back, right? So I take my heel and I would walk it up on either side of his spine, right? Whoa.
Now, this is where it's better. Well, this is why you should be trained how to do it instead of just walking on somebody's
Absolutely,
back.
right? So I'm just, so you want to just keep, you want to make sure you get every spot. So you just move a little, maybe a half an inch at a time, right? Depending on how big your foot is. Now you can do it with the toe too if you want, right? And again, you could go up and down 2 or 3 times. Now once you do either side of the spine, you can do that same duck walk up the back, if he's ready for it, right? Now a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just get down in there with my hands instead. Okay. Or you can use your fists, right?
He wants you to do it.
Huh? Well, we haven't really done the whole thing, so I
Yeah.
don't really want to push them into it.
Yeah.
But it's just simply that same duck walk,
Yeah.
right?
So what you want to do is work out the muscles first and then go into the walk. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yeah. So just like with yoga, you slowly warm up.
Yeah.
You get a little bit more intense, and then you warm it down, right? So once you get up to the top here, right, then you can take the back, your Achilles tendon, and work it in here, right?
How does it feel, John?
Right. All right. So then usually, again, I'll come in and I'll do a little bit with my hands, right?
There you go. That's the way to start your Friday morning.
Right. And then you do the same thing with the hands, right? So that you did with the foot. So you just walk it out, right?
Yeah.
It's quite simple, really. You know.
So how difficult is it to learn this particular technique?
I can teach you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, again, in the workshop, I'll show everybody, we'll talk about it, and then they'll do it. And I'll guide them,
Okay.
right? And I'll make sure that they're, because people are obviously a little concerned about hurting others.
Of course.
Right. So you see, I just placed my arch on his arm. See how you probably can't see, but his fingers roll up,
Yeah.
right? So you go up. You want to be careful on the joints,
Yeah.
right? There we go. And then when I get over, and so you don't want to step on the bone. You want to push into the muscle. John's got big biceps.
And you have good balance. That's what I'm watching.
That's all from yoga,
Yeah.
right? So I want to work the shoulder,
Yeah.
right? Just work it in. Now let me ask you, John, if you didn't know any better, would you even know this was somebody's foot?
No, you couldn't tell, especially because of the eye.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you can just, depending on how much time you want to spend, you just want to make sure, I could do this for an hour, I could do this for 15 minutes. Now go ahead and flip over so I can show what we do on the other side.
Now we'll really see your facial reaction.
Bend one leg, right? So, I'd get that arch a little bit more, right? And again, you don't want to step on the shin bone, right? You want to push into the muscle and just work your way up. All right. Again, I'm moving a little bit faster because I know you're pressed for time,
Yes.
right? So, get the joint, move in, get those thigh muscles, those hamstrings. Now, there's a little trick right here.
Yeah,
Michelle?
I think all the guys are holding their breath right now.
No.
So can you please clarify? Yeah.
No. We have this.
Including John.
Don't worry, this is as high as we go, John. Now,
It's funny that
don't worry. Yeah, I know what's coming. You don't.
Yeah.
So, right. Just trust, right? So there's a nice big artery right there.
Yeah.
Right. So we step on it. We try to close it off, right? Just briefly, right? You don't want to put his. All right. So we shut it off. And then we step off and let the blood rush back in, right? Right.
That's cool.
Right. So, there's all kinds of little,
Yeah.
little-
Okay, your demo's over. Come back to do
right.
it. Yeah.
There's all kinds of little extras that I don't have time to show you.
Yeah.
Little
That's why
nice-
people have to come to the workshop.
Exactly. This is
Yeah.
just a teaser, people. You got to come tomorrow, right?
Look at him. We'll get his reaction when he comes back.
Sure.
But that, what I love about it is, first of all, we all need to have something to relax every now and again.
Absolutely.
And if it's family members coming together where they can do it to each other at
Absolutely.
the end of the day,
Right.
that's going to be great.
Right.
And you said there's no weight limit for any person.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. It's just, you just have to gauge the pressure. Again, you don't have to walk on anybody. You just have to put the pressure with your foot, right? And as long as they're telling you it doesn't hurt, then you just keep putting a little bit more pressure.
And you kept on saying, don't answer with your ego.
Right. In other words, don't, if you're in pain, tell somebody you're in pain,
Yeah.
right? Because if they don't know, they're just going to keep putting more pressure on you.
Of course.
So the idea in yoga and the idea in a walking massage is no pain, right? And no extreme discomfort.
Yeah.
Because I learned a little bit of Spanish here,
Uh-huh.
and yoga is Poquito poco.
Okay, little by little.
That's right.
You're building up.
That's right. So you want to build a nice strong foundation from the inside out, right?
Yeah.
Once you build that foundation from the inside out, you're set for life.
All right.
So how was it?
It was excellent, actually. You know, just having the pressure on your muscles,
Right.
that's one of the things that I found most relaxing.
Right.
And especially when you twine or when you make the movement.
The
you
circular
know,
movement,
Yes,
right.
the circular movement, it actually put you at relax.
Right.
Because, you know, you're just gently, or then again, with the pressure,
Right.
it feels gentle. But then again, it depends on
What area felt the best?
The best area was actually being at the lower
Right,
Yeah, the lower
right,
area.
butt. Right.
foot to hand,
Right.
and then foot to
Foot to
yes,
foot, right.
those were
Right.
excellent.
And I wish you should come to the workshop tomorrow, and then you'll get a full one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's enough reason to
Right,
go.
right.
What time does the workshop start? You said 10
10 o'clock.
a.m.
10
All
a.m.,
right.
10 to
And
12.
it's going to be 2 hours. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And of course, it is also learning a new technique, but most importantly, it's also a part of giving back because it
Yes.
goes to Rhythm of Change, Om Shanti, which is an organization that works with children in vulnerable communities.
Right.
Allowing them to practice things like yoga and other
Children
activities
can
as well.
right. Children can easily do this on one another
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
and have fun with it.
Of course.
Right.
All right, so the parents can teach the children how to do it, so they have an
Right.
available massage.
That's right. You can teach your kids how to give you massages every night.
Yeah, definitely.
Nick, it's been great. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, or in the morning while they're watching your show.
Yes. So it's been great having you here, and I think this is definitely a tool in your arsenal that you would want to have, at least in your household. So 2 people, is it best if you go as a couple, having 2 people there?
Sure, but it's not necessary.
Okay, if
Okay.
you want to
We'll,
go
we'll
alone.
pair people up. You know, in India, every day we just paired up with different people.
Okay.
You know, of course, we had about 70 people to choose from, but I would always pick the small Japanese girls.
To do your
Yeah,
massage.
Yeah, but I would also give them the same.
Okay.
But I didn't want the 7-footer. I don't. Even though he sought me out, I was like, oh, no. I'm like, sorry, Julian, I already have somebody picked. But you have somebody picked every day.
So tell us about what do you need to bring to the workshop?
Just comfortable clothes.
Okay.
That's all. Comfortable clothes and wash your feet.
Please do, right?
All right.
Okay, thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
here.
My pleasure.
Once
Thank you.
again, the workshop takes place tomorrow in Belize City. It's at the Harbor View building, which is the new home of Om Shanti. And the workshop starts at 10 a.m. until 12.
Right.
So it's a $50 donation, and we definitely encourage you. I mean, John is singing the praises of that particular
That was a
massage.
great time. That was a great time.
So try it for yourself tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and take a break now. And when we come back, we'll be talking about Easter specials.
All right.
So stay tuned.